Hello, this is the price action for yesterday, the EURUSD 3-minute chart. We had a range and a breakout and a retest of that range. Let's go up to the 15-minute chart to see how this formed. So the day prior or last week, Friday, we've made this channel, green channel, heading up, and we've overshot. So we are expecting those two legs back. And we do get those two legs. We don't know what they're going to look like, but a lot of times this will lead to some sort of reversal, or you'll get two legs and a continuation. But we got two legs back. We got a break of a channel, and we got an overshoot of this smaller channel here. So I'll normally draw my breakout, my range from the overshoot area, this red channel, down to the low. And I'll just expect that to hold as a range, and it did. So yesterday, for most of the day, we're in a range, and then coming into the London session, we had a big bull bar up and then a big bear bar down. So that's a 2-bar trading range, but on my 3-minute time frame, it's a lot of bars. Anyway, we were in a little bit of a trading range at the start, and we broke out of that trading range, and then we also broke out of the bigger trading range, and we headed on down, and then we've pulled back and tested the breakout area, which happens a lot. And it's also created this bigger red channel. And we've headed on down very, very, very strongly, and we've overshot that channel. So again, I'm just drawing my range in from the overshoot area down to the lows, and I'm just expecting a trading range to be in here, which it looks like there is. So that's all I'm doing. So last night, it's sort of a breakout of a smaller range and this bigger range, and then we sort of got the pullback and a nice move down. So let's go look at the trades. So at the start of the night, of course, we're in this bigger blue range, and then we see a big up and a big down just before the open. So I'm thinking maybe we're in another range inside here, a smaller range. So I draw my orange range in. And the first move I see is we get a first entry short, we pull back and we do a second entry short. And that looks to fail. So once you see it, try to go do something twice, and it can't do it. And you get this strong bullish bar. I am expecting it to go up and test the highs. So I'm just getting my limit order ready. I'm watching this entry bar. So my signal bar is here. I'm watching the entry bar. And once that breaks above those highs and it looks pretty strong, I just drop my limit order in, get filled, and then I'm just waiting for it, assuming it's going to reach the high there. It's just a scalp trade. Then you get a double top at the top of this orange range, and we get this bearish bar, and then you get another bar forming, and it breaks below that tail there. That's a good place to go short. Maybe you go short up higher, but you want to go, when you go short, you want to go short up higher, but that's a more safer to wait for it to break the tail and take a short there. You're only expecting it to go down to the bottom of the range here, but it doesn't do that. It breaks all the way out and continues on its merry way all the way down. So at this stage, you're watching this micro channel line, and you see this overshoot. So you cannot go short once you see an overshoot, even of a micro channel line. This is a very strong overshoot. It's probably going to reverse straight back up, and it does exactly that. So now you're in another little range here. So you draw this is a yellow range. You just draw it from the overshoot area all the way down to the low, and you're expecting this little range to play out. But you're also probably in another trading range because you've broken out of this bigger blue range. So maybe you're going to come back up and test there as well. So a lot of times I'll draw another range all the way down to the lows, expecting this bigger range to also play out. And that's exactly what happened. So we ended up channeling up here. We got this bar here. I don't know whether you saw it form, but it was very, very bearish for a few seconds there. Then it went very, very bullish. So it's a doji bar, and it's very, very hard. It's going to try and get you to jump in before the bar closes, but never jump in before a bar closes unless you can clearly see the failure. But in this stage, you don't know what's going to happen right here. Another thing that I was looking at was this channel line. I'm thinking we're overshooting that as well. So I'm also looking at that, thinking we're going to definitely come back up. We're probably going to retest this other channel that's formed here. We did. We kept pulling up, and then we got this other doji, and then it failed here. So once it's failed here, and I know it's heading back into this little yellow range, and I see it pull down in here, and then I'm waiting. I'm seeing this pull down. I see this tick back. Then I drop my limit order in. So that's my signal bar. This is my entry bar. I can see that we're probably going to head down to at least the lows. Maybe we get a second leg of this move, which we did. It's a very weak second leg. That's a trading range second leg. You're expecting rangy price action after a leg like that. But we end up going down, so I'm just scalping to the lows here. We end up heading down, and we go all the way to the end, and that's it. But nearly 2 legs, but doesn't quite make it. This channel sort of held together only just. It worried me a bit. See, when I'm taking this trade, and I nearly exited on this bar here, because once you start breaking bigger channels, more bars required. So yeah, we're on this smaller channel now, but once we break this bigger pink channel here that's heading down that I've drawn in there, usually there's a lot of bars required, and sometimes I can come back. My stop was tight because I was scalping, and I'm only going for a little bit. If I'm doing a swing, I'm holding all. I've got my stop up here, but if I'm scalping, I've only got my stop pretty tight above my signal bar. And I almost dropped the trade off there, but it pulled back into the channel. So, you know, there is, when you're scalping, you got that tight stop. I usually just exit when I feel uncomfortable, even if that means a small loss or a scratch trade or a break-even trade. I just pull my take profit or my stop to break even quickly and just try to get out. And that's it. So anyway, we head on down there, and we sort of break out of there again, and we've got this sort of rangy bars, like big tails and switching colors, and we're sort of breaking out of this pink channel, and we just sort of start to channel up a little bit here, but we do get 2 legs back to the EMA, so I'd still go short there to the lows, and then we start heading up, and this one is a failed second entry short again. So I've tried to go down once, we've tried to go down again, and we've got this strong bullish bar here, and we've closed above the EMA, and we look like it looks like it's failed to go down. So I am expecting it to push up. It's only a scalp trade. You know, these are harder trades to take. Even that trade at the start of the night, when you see these failed second entries, you really need to understand what's going on before you jump in and take those. But anyway, we shoot on up. We are channeling, so you've got to make sure you have your channel line on there so you know where the highs are. And we break out of there. Now, a lot of times this will fail. This is one of my favorite patterns to trade when it fails, because you get those 2 legs. But this one doesn't fail. So it just strongly pushes above. So you can't go short yet. It keeps pushing higher. And then we start sort of channeling up again here. And you're just waiting for confirmation either if this is going to fail with a really strong bear bar or get another bull bar. So we got 2 bull bars in a row, one mid-close, one closing on its high. There is a tiny bit of room there. You can see that it's not nudging up against that micro channel line. Maybe you could take a scalp there. I don't particularly like these type of trades, but there is a trade in there. It did hold. It did win the battle. This is not going to fail. We're not going to get our 2 legs back here. It's continuing up, so you can go long there. Then you're waiting. Then you actually see it fail here. So there is another trade in here. Maybe we mark that. It is on a micro channel. You're only looking for a scalp of this trade. You're only looking really for a scalp down to the EMA, and you can jump in there. So once it sort of breaks below there, you want to see it really strongly break below there and then jump in with your limit order and just down to the lows. You're expecting 2 legs back, and this is where the 2 legs can get kind of weird. Like this is still 1 leg and 2 legs, and the other leg is sort of sideways. This can happen. You don't know what legs you're going to get. Is what I'm trying to say. You never know what legs are going to come out. You can have an idea when it's a really strong move that, yeah, you're probably going to get a second leg down that's equally strong or almost as strong. But the legs can go either way. That's why we're scalping just to the EMA. We are going against the small trend that's happened there. So you're down to the EMA. And then we're just got to wait. And you're just waiting. How do you know which bar to jump in on here? So you're just waiting, looking for a bull bar to close on its high, or a really strong bear bar and then continuation down. But we're really in an uptrend right now. So we're looking for a bull bar, and we get a bull bar here right at the end. So you got to wait through all of this. You're not stressed. You're not bothered. You just sit there and wait. You'll notice that most of my entries always come on bars closing on their highs or lows. You know, a lot of them, not always. Like this one here, because we've got a double top, this, and you can see it clearly fail below that tail. That is still a good entry. So, but many times I'm looking for bars closing on their lows and highs. So this bar closes on its high. We then get this strong push through. So you see that as your signal bar, and you're just waiting for this entry bar to push above the highs. It breaks above this high. So once it starts breaking above this high quite strongly, that's when you drop your limit order. You wait for it to tick you in, and then you go to the highs. And then we get this double top, and we get this reversal. And that's a really nice trade at the end of the night, especially if you're looking at the 15-minute and you saw this pattern. I mean, you're expecting that to head all the way down. It could touch the edge of this channel line, and it does. It actually goes right through there. So that's a really great trade at the end of the night if you got that one. Get all that way down there. It is hard to hold though. Once you get into that US session, I'm usually exiting, just because the bars can get extremely big and your stop won't be big enough. But that was the night. Those are the trades.